Kobbie Mainoo arrived at Old Trafford with the aura of a specially gifted teenager, a tidy passer, a calm presence in tight spaces, someone scouts whispered about as the kind of midfielder who could define a midfield for a decade. But football is a sport of windows and timing, and this summer one of those windows has cracked open more loudly than anyone expected. Mainoo, only 20, has told Manchester United he wants minutes, not promises, and he wants them now. That request sounds simple, but at a club with global ambition and expensive investments, a young player asking to leave on loan becomes a test of value. For Mainoo, the choice is immediate and existential. Sit and wait for scraps of playing time or take a season of exposure to prove he belongs among the elite. For United, it is a question of protection. Keep the asset close and control the narrative, or let him grow elsewhere and risk a sudden market reshaping if a rival decides to pounce. What makes this story combustible is the cast of characters watching from the wings. Real Madrid and Atletico, clubs that rarely gamble on unproven teenagers without a plan, have been reported to be circling, and the logic is clear. A season-long loan is a low-risk bet. For a club like Real, where squad depth constantly meets the pressure of trophies and media scrutiny, bringing in a hungry youngster on loan solves development needs without demanding long-term upheaval. From the player's perspective, Madrid represents a stage that accelerates visibility, sharpens pressure, and tests character. Everything Mainoo needs if he wants to push himself from promising prospect to indispensable starter. Yet Madrid's interest does more than seduce Mainoo. It forces United to lay its cards on the table. If Old Trafford lets him go, they must be comfortable with the idea that a rival environment might make him more valuable, or that they might not see him again. If they refuse, they risk stunting a bright career and creating a public relations headache about blocked ambition. Manchester United's current posture reads like tough love. The club has signalled reluctance to sanction an easy exit, mindful of protecting an asset whose market value and international prospects are rising. That stance has a coherent logic. A loan without safeguards, without strict salary terms, without assurances about playing time, without the right buyback or recall clauses, can quickly become a permanent loss. United's leaders are balancing a financial ledger against the more human ledger of a young man's development. Neither side is flatly wrong. One side is safeguarding the club's long game, while the other is demanding the short necessary minutes that make a good prospect great. There is an urgency to all this now. Mainoo's window for real competitive minutes is time-sensitive. National team considerations and a looming World Cup cycle add pressure. A season on the bench is not merely an inconvenience. It could mean missing selection or stagnating at a career-defining moment. That is why the rumour mill is not idle chatter. It is an accelerator of consequences. Scouts, directors of football and agents are measuring how United frames its answer, because the club's next move will ripple through transfer strategy in the coming months. A carefully structured loan could satisfy all parties. Mainoo gets minutes under the spotlight, United monitors progress while retaining long-term options, and Madrid or Atletico test a talent before committing big money. Alternatively, a flat refusal could generate immediate friction, prompting more aggressive suitors or forcing the player into a standoff that neither club wants. Behind the headlines, the human story remains palpable. A 20-year-old whose best years stretch ahead is making a clear, rational plea, "Play me." At a career crossroads, the difference between a season of training and a season of competitive learning is vast. For Mainoo, every minute on the pitch is a chance to refine decision-making, to learn pressure management, to turn potential into performance. For United, every minute withheld is a statement about control and long-term strategy. The drama is not simply about money or fame. It is about identity. Whose path will define Mainoo, and will United be the guardian of that path or the gatekeeper that blocks it? The coming days will define this arc. Will a compromise be stitched together? Salary terms agreed, guarantees of playing time, clauses that keep United protected? Or will the saga escalate into months of negotiation that stall development? Either way, this is the kind of inflection point that football narratives are built on. A talented young player asserting agency, a historic club protecting value, and one of Europe's biggest stages watching closely. For fans and neutrals alike, the outcome will reveal as much about modern club strategy as it does about one player's hunger. Keep an eye on the offers, the fine print, and the deadline drama, because in the end, what happens to Kobbie Mainoo this season could be the moment he either becomes a name everyone remembers or the talent everyone talks about wishing they had seen sooner.